Hi there, Kendra Tolbert here. I'm a registered dietitian and yoga teacher, and I specialize in women's health and fertility. And this is our third video in our multi-part series all about preparing for pregnancy in your late 30s, your 40s, and maybe your 50s. I'm a 39-year-old woman who has not had children and has not started trying to conceive, and if I decide to start trying to conceive, it will not happen until my 40s. So I am being quite intentional about preparing my body so that hopefully I increase my chances of conceiving, I reduce my risk of pregnancy and postpartum related complications, I shorten my time to conception, and I just feel good in the body that I have now. And so I have always wanted to share what I do with my one-on-one clients, like actually record those sessions and share them here so that you can get some additional insight and maybe some encouragement as well. But for legal and ethical reasons, I cannot do that. So I decided to do what I believe is the next best thing, which is coach myself and share what I'm doing, what I'm discovering about myself as I walk myself through the process that I typically walk my one-on-one clients through right here with you. So I love this particular session. The third session is absolutely one of my favorite sessions to do with my clients. I call it the future self session. It's where we go through a guided visualization. Let me back up. First, we do some movement together. Then we go through a guided visualization and they share what they encountered in this visualization with me. We use what they encountered, what they experienced in the visualization to create some very simple goals that they can do over the next week or 2 weeks, depending on how long it'll be until I see them again. And I use that information to create a personalized yoga sequence for them. I knew that when I was going to do this session for myself that I didn't want to have to use my brain. Like I didn't want to actually be guiding myself, telling myself how to move, actually saying the words so that I would move through the visualization. Like I just kind of wanted to be able to chill out and follow along the way my clients are able to do. And so what I did was I went back to a recording that I have of the guided visualization and the yoga sequence that I did with a group back in March. It was called the Embody Fertility Masterclass, I believe. And so I walked an entire group through the guided visualization. It was the first time I did that. It was tons of fun. They shared with me what they saw and experienced in the visualization. We chatted about it as a group. We journaled about it. And then I used what they shared to create a personalized, like a tailored group yoga session, I think is what is the best way to describe what I created for us, for them. And so I was like, I have the recording of the movement and the visualization. I can just do that instead of trying to guide myself. So that's what I did. I went back and I moved through the movement and I went through the visualization. It was quite lovely. I was incredibly relaxed at the end. I don't know if that's strange to say because it was me guiding me, but I was like, this is relaxing. This is relaxing. I could do this more often. So I am now going to share with you what came up for me in that visualization. So when I did the visualization, I found myself in what seemed to be a rainforest, which was quite interesting. I've never been to the rainforest. Never been. There was a deer and there was a hummingbird. Both of those are animals that whenever I see them, I'm completely captivated. Like I'm in awe and there's a sense of just like quiet reverence for me. I just think they're strikingly beautiful, but not in a way where you're like, oh, it's fantastical, but just in a way where you're absorbed into it and by it, and you just kind of want to witness it and be still. Like that's how both of those animals make me feel. So that's something that I definitely want to play with a bit more. We'll get to that when we talk about the goals. So anyway, I found myself there. I saw my future self, and she was dressed in a white and blue dress. It was a floral print dress, I believe. It could have been another print, but it seemed like it was floral print. You know, visualizations, they get a little hazy, which was really interesting because I wear tons of blue and white, like favorite color combination, but I don't tend to wear a lot of dresses, so we're going to play with that as well. Her hair was in an afro, but it was more of like a stretched out, larger kind of curly fro, which I don't really do with my hair. I typically allow my hair to shrink down like it is now, or I'll do like a wash and go. So there's a bit more definition, but it's not like big and out as a fro. So that was really interesting It actually reminded me of one of my friends. She said that she had a dream about me with a large curly fro, which was interesting. So maybe there's something there as well. And what I noticed most about my future self was just how content she was. Like, she just seemed to be kind of floating. She didn't seem like she was trying to figure anything out. She seemed like she just kind of went with the flow. And there was a self-possessedness. It's not a word, but she just came across as very self-possessed, right? Like she seemed so comfortable in her skin and comfortable with life. And I found that to be really beautiful to witness, really to witness within myself standing in front of me. And she seemed that she had found the joy of life, right? It wasn't about trying to make life better. It was just about finding the good that was already there. There was something about her that seemed like she had cracked the code on just enjoying life, finding ways to be in awe of the simple things. The other thing that I got from her was a sense that she didn't take anything too seriously, but she also didn't take anything for granted. And that feels like a very delicate balance in life, to not take it too seriously, but to not take it for granted. So definitely going to play with that. Got a sense of gratitude from her. She smelled really good, which was interesting. She kind of smelled to me like there was a sweetness to it. There was something almost like food-like about it, and it was a very familiar scent. And I think it's actually a scent that I own, but only wear on special occasions. But here she was just wearing it on a regular day. So also playing with that. I think I said this already. She seemed light. And when we spent time together, we didn't really talk about anything in particular, like nothing that was pressing or important for me to like get an answer about. We just kind of looked around and pointed out things in our environment that we thought was beautiful. We went for a walk, and on that walk, there was just, again, this like buoyancy and lightness about her. She flowed. I think she floated and she flowed. There was a real gracefulness about her that I found incredibly inspiring and beautiful. We did talk about, this was pretty interesting. We talked about my favorite book series right now. It's the Skyland series by Kennedy Ryan. We talked about that, which was really interesting and fun. I only recently started reading a lot more fiction, which has been maybe one of the ways that I am taking everything a little less serious, right? Like, I'm not always reading nonfiction, trying to figure out like more information, trying to gather more information or increase my knowledge or improve myself. There's tons of like self-help and self-improvement in the nonfiction world. Instead, I've just really been enjoying getting wrapped up in a good story. And so we talked about my favorite book series. So that was kind of fun. I did ask her, how does it all work out? But when I said, how does it all work out, I meant like, girl, give me the steps. But her answer was the way it should. And that was enough for me. So that was really quite lovely to experience. So after I do the guided visualization, I try to help my clients, if it's appropriate, to create goals that are based on, they're really, really simple things, like little goals that are based on what they experienced in the visualization. Like, it might be something like they noticed that they were wearing a certain color and they tend not to wear that color. So maybe they can wear that color more often. Maybe it's the way their future self kind of like holds themselves. So they practice moving like that person. And I'll maybe use some of that movement quality in the yoga sequence that I create for them. It might be something like they noticed an aroma. So maybe we can start to have that aroma in the house or on their bodies. It might be that they saw a particular flower, and so can we bring that flower into the home or into their wardrobe? Things like that. So for myself, I came up with a long list of potential goals. I likely will not do them all, but it was fun to just kind of brainstorm and think about ways that I can bring that future me into the present day so I can start to be her now. So here's what I came up with. The first thing is to read the book In Awe, which I have right here. It's a book by John O'Leary. I've had this book for quite some time. And I have not finished it. I started it, but I haven't finished it. And so there was so much awe in the visualization, right? Like she just seemed really good at noticing the captivating things in her everyday life and in the environment. And she stopped to notice and really like take them in and recognize like the miracles and the mundane. So definitely going to be reading this book. So that is one of the goals that I absolutely will be doing. The other thing I came up with was to spend unhurried time walking and noticing, because that's what we did, right? We walked around and we weren't in a rush. We weren't even trying to get anywhere. We were just noticing and talking and chatting. So that was nice. So that's a potential goal. The deer and the hummingbird, that felt important. Now, they felt important for a number of reasons. Like I said, those animals captivate me and they immediately put me at ease and they help me to feel calm. So maybe it's just I do things that make me feel that way. Maybe I bring that energy to things. Maybe I look up what hummingbirds and deer mean in like spiritual sense, and across different cultures. Maybe I look for a deer or a hummingbird, maybe a deer and a hummingbird painting to put up on the wall. Maybe I look for figurines to put on my desk, things like that, so that I can bring those things into my everyday. I also thought to listen to rainforest soundscapes. I really like soundscapes. I don't know that I think I tend to listen to like the ocean, but I don't know that I listen to the rainforest so much. So I think that could be kind of cool to do maybe while I'm cleaning. That could be something. Wear more dresses. I wear lots of white and blue, but I tend not to wear a lot of white and blue dresses or just dresses in general. More so or less so since I've moved here. So that's kind of interesting. I definitely used to wear dresses a lot more often. So that could be a good one too. Styling my hair in like a stretched out fro is something I can do from time to time. I'm not doing it all the time, especially not in this humidity. It'll shrink back anyway, but that's something that I can play with down the road. Wearing the perfume. So the perfume that it reminded me of is one that I have. It's Brown Girl Jane. This is like the travel size of Dusk. I couldn't find the full size and I had a sample of it and I loved it. I tend to only wear this on special occasions. And so maybe it's treating every day as if it were special, which is what I got from future me, right? Like that she saw the miracle in the mundane. And so if I can treat every day as a special occasion, because it really is, then maybe I'll be a little more like her. So maybe it's using this fragrance. What's really cool about Brown Girl Jane fragrances, this is not sponsored, is that their fragrances don't contain any known endocrine disruptors. So I like that about them. Very good stuff. Anyhow, so that's something to play with. And then gratitude journaling could be something as well, because it requires me to slow down and consider the beauty of my day, the good things in my day that I may have overlooked. So all of those are potential goals. If I had to choose the like top 3, it would be to read the book in awe. And the other one would be definitely to wear the Brown Girl Jane perfume more regularly. And then if I had to choose one more, I think it's listening to the rainforest soundscapes. So those will be my top 3. Any of the others will be like bonus points if I get around to them. But those 3 feel very doable. And they, at least 2 of them, really force me to not force me, but they give me an opportunity to delight my senses, which I think is always something that we can do more of. As I was editing, I remembered that I have a blue and white dress from Quince that I still haven't worn. So I'm giving myself one additional goal, and that goal is to wear this dress at least once this month. So now that you know what I will be doing with what I experienced in the visualization, I want you to have your own experience with visualization. So here's where we start your action steps, because this is not all about me. This is about us. We're in this together, my friend. So the very first thing that I'm going to encourage you to consider is doing a movement practice followed by a future self visualization. And so there are two different ways that you can do that, or that I can help you do that. So the first way is to go down to the description box below and click on, there should be two links to two different videos here on the channel. One is a movement practice, like a yoga sequence, and the other one is the guided visualization that I recorded years ago on this channel that was like a future self visualization. So you can do that one. And then the other option is to go to my website and purchase access to A Peaceful Path to Pregnancy. I have added the actual visualization and the movement practice that I did, and the one that I guided the group through, that is much closer to what I do with my one-on-one clients than what I have here on my YouTube channel. I've added it as a bonus to A Peaceful Path to Pregnancy. And so if you purchase access to A Peaceful Path to Pregnancy, you'll get access to the movement practice and the guided visualization, as well as like a little worksheet where you can brainstorm your goals based on what you experienced in your visualization. You'll also get access to the yoga sequence that I created for that group based on the things that they shared about their visualization, but also within A Peaceful Path to Pregnancy, the non-bonus part of it, there are 3 different daily practices that you can do. One is acupressure, one is breath work, and then one is a yoga sequence. And it's all designed to help you feel more peaceful on your path to pregnancy, hence the name. So you can either do the YouTube channel videos, there we go, or you can purchase access to A Peaceful Path to Pregnancy, and as a bonus within that, there's the guided visualization and movement that I did with the group, that I did for myself, and that is very much in line with what I do with my one-on-one clients. Now, after you do any of those, either of those, both of those, I don't know, maybe you like to, keep it spicy and interesting, then I would encourage you to set goals. So I gave you some ideas about how I chose my goals. Go through your visualization, like write everything out, write down as many details as you can about what you saw, what you heard, what you smelled, maybe what you tasted, how your future self carried herself, if there were any people present, what colors she was wearing or they were wearing, what sort of outfit they had on, what sort of shoes, like every single detail, what animals were there, what sounds you heard, all of it, the sensations you felt on your skin, any emotions that arose, write down all of it. Go through that and then see if there's anything from that that you can pull out to add to your everyday life so that you're living more and more like who you are already becoming. So it can be as simple as like, oh, I noticed that she had on pearl earrings and I never wear pearl earrings, so I'll wear some pearls. Like it can be that small. It's just a way of tying yourself to what you're moving towards. And it's like that then pulls you towards it. So do a movement practice and the visualization, then set some goals that are, just they come from it. They feel organic, they feel doable and easy. And then actually do those things. Do those things for a week or 2, or do them for the rest of your life. Do it for as long as feels good to you. So those are my action steps for you for this week. Next week, we are going to be doing a yoga sequence together. It's been a long time since I've shared a new yoga sequence here on the channel, so I'm really excited to share it with you. It's going to be based on my guided visualization, or my future self visualization and what I saw, but I do believe that what I'm going to share is going to be beneficial for a lot of you because it's still yoga, it's still movement, it's still going to be relaxing and hopefully create a sense of ease and awe in your body. And I think that those are lovely things for anyone to experience. So I'm really excited to be sharing that new fertility yoga sequence with you that is based on what feels most appropriate for my body and what I need right now. But just because it's for me doesn't mean it's not also good for you. All right, so I will see you next week for our fertility yoga sequence. I'm really excited to share that with you. Until then, be well and bye for now.